Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. We know that you are allocating quality time to have this conversation with us. My name is Rodolfo Hernandez. This is the last virtual information session from the University of Texas Dallas, designed for new international students who are going to join us in fall 2025 semester. Welcome to UT Dallas, even at this moment virtually, but we want to ensure that you have the information, the guidance, the resources to enhance a smooth transition from your home communities to you to UT Dallas, to the University of Texas Dallas, your new home community. We know that you had options. We know that in your deliberation process to select an international educational destination, you were considered maybe Australia, United Kingdom, Germany, you mentioned, but ultimately you have decided to come to the University of Texas Dallas, and we don't take that for granted. So that's why we are here to communicate that anything that we can do to really ensure that you have the resources and the support for a successful arrival to the University of Texas Dallas, please let us know. Again, my name is Rodolfo Hernandez from Intercultural Programs, and I have the honor, the privilege to welcome you to this last virtual info session for fall 2025. I would like to acknowledge the leadership and the coordination of this series of virtual info sessions for new international students. My colleague Carl Tyler, who is coordinating all this series of virtual info sessions for fall 2025, and a great support. We offering more than 8 virtual info sessions in collaboration with many campus stakeholders for you. Also, I would like to acknowledge the support, technical support from Neil Dave, Intercultural Programs Assistant, who is behind the scenes providing the tech support to really ensure that this presentation runs smoothly. Also, with us during all these series of virtual info sessions, Sona Hashmin and Kushali Shah, they have been as well participating. They are coordinators as well of intercultural programs, and they have been here behind the scenes as well, answering many questions that you communicate through the Q&A section at the end of each one of these presentations in the virtual info sessions. And today we have a special guest, officers from the International Council, be presenting basic information and some resources to welcome you and to really ensure that you can be supported and guided and to be mentored even to really ensure you have a smooth transition. In terms of the event logistics, you can see us and you can hear us, but we cannot see you or we cannot hear you. You will be welcome to submit your questions in the question box on the right side of your screen at the end of this presentation. The event is going to be recorded and will be posted within 48 business hours on our YouTube channel. Welcome to visit our International Student Orientation webpage, where you find the hyperlink to our YouTube channel. And certainly, many links and emails will be mentioned during this presentation, and they will be shared during the presentation at the end. They will be provided at the end of the virtual info session during the question and answer session in the last part of this virtual info session. So again, welcome to the University of Texas Dallas. It's my pleasure to welcome you, and I pass the microphone to my colleague Carl Tyler. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rodolfo, and hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see you all. As Rodolfo mentioned, this is our final virtual information session, preparing for life in Dallas. And we're not supposed to have favorites here at ICP, but I will say this is one of my favorite virtual information sessions because we're getting closer to your arrival. Just a few more weeks, in the next month, you will all be arriving here. So we're anticipating your arrival and your journey here. And as Rodolfo also mentioned, we will be posting this recording onto YouTube so that you can go back to it, or maybe some of your friends or colleagues who can't make it live can also view it. But in addition to that, as Rodolfo also mentioned, we have over 8 virtual information sessions. And if you haven't had a chance to see the previous ones, we'll talk about them some during today's presentation. The links to those YouTube channels are also on our International Student Orientation page on our website. If you go to our website, icp.utdallas.edu, you click on international students, then there will be a couple of subcategories. One of them says International Student Orientation. That's where you will find all of the links to the previous sessions as well as the recording of this one once we post it onto YouTube. In addition to that, that reminds me, if you haven't yet, please go ahead and register for one of the three international student orientations. We're hosting three of them. One is on Wednesday, August 13th, making sure I have the dates right here. The other is on Tuesday, August 19th, and then the final one is on Friday, August 22nd. Now, as you might tell by my voice, I've never immigrated to the United States. So I can only empathize with you, the process. Maybe you're waiting on your visa interview. Maybe you're waiting on some paperwork to process. I will say I have immigrated overseas before and I had to go through a medical clearance, and it was just the last minute. I was like 3 weeks away of having to be in another country and I wasn't even cleared to leave yet. And so I was a little bit nervous and apprehensive, and maybe you're in that same situation. But just, I guess, my advice would be to keep a positive attitude that things are going to work out in the correct order and timeline, and you'll be here to see us at one of these three orientations. So please register. You will not have a charge until you complete the orientation. So if there is a change that's needed, you'll be free to cancel your orientation, and we can address that as it happens. But for now, we'd love to get your registrations. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide, Neil. Before we get started with the topics for today, I want to also point out some additional resources that are on our website, and they're going to be categorized in different topics, but they will fall usually under one of two main categories. These pre-arrival resources, so some things that you need to be considering or taking care of before you arrive, and then there will also be post-arrival resources section as well, including some checklists on there. If you'll go ahead and go to the next slide, Neil. These are just a list of the post-arrival resources. There's a lot of information, but while you're waiting for your journey to us, I'm going to ask you, if you will, please take the time and commit maybe 15, 20 minutes each day and go over something, because there's going to be a lot of changes that you're going to go through. Culture shock, and studying in a different university in a different country. So to anything to help you transition more easily, that's what these resources are here for. So if you equip yourself with the tools and the knowledge, and this might help you check a few boxes that you didn't think before that you needed. So review those. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, you just be sure to reach out to us through email, and we'll be happy to address those questions and respond to you. And we're really quick. Our office, I'm really proud of our office. We're very quick about responding to emails. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the topics. We dress this based on kind of sequential, like how you're going to experience your life as you come to Dallas and to UT Dallas in particular. And the first thing you're going to do is step off the plane and out of the airport, and it's going to be August, and it's going to be really hot. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the climate and weather. I think there's a lot of information on this slide. So I'll just ask you to and maybe go ahead and um, just take this into account. When it comes to experiencing weather, it's all going to be based on perspective. It's going to be relative. One of two things. One, we all have individual physiologies. So some people might be more hot-natured, others might be more cold-natured. And then the other has to do with where you are used to, where you come from. So if you look under this first bullet point here where it says warm and sunny, and Dallas typically has mild winters, that is mild in terms of the rest of the United States. If someone is from California or Hawaii, or maybe you're from an arid area or a Mediterranean climate or a tropical or subtropical climate, you're probably going to consider winters here colder than normal. Whereas if you come from maybe Canada or Europe or Eastern Europe or Northern Asia, you're probably going to consider it to be a little bit milder than normal. So just take that into account. In this summer, we typically have average highs that reach around 38, and then it gets down to 32 at night throughout the summer. And that doesn't mean that's going to be our record high for each year. We are also going to have maybe record highs that might reach up to I want to say around 44 degrees Celsius. I'm trying to translate in my mind. So during those summer months, you want to make sure you stay hydrated. It's going to feel hotter than what the thermometer says simply because of humidity. When it comes to winter, we will get below freezing regularly in December, January, and February. So just prepare for that. We will have occasional snow and maybe some ice. It's not going to be snow on the ground for 3 whole months. That's not here, but we might have weather systems that come and go, maybe 3 or 4 cold weather systems every winter that will drop the temperatures below freezing. So just be sure to prepare for that when it comes to layering or the type of clothing or coat that you might want to have. When it comes to rain, it's usually spread throughout the year, but we have some rainier seasons in winter and spring. And then the thunderstorm seasons are usually in late spring, early summer. And one other thing that I want to mention is that it's very windy here. We're in the Great Plains. We don't have any mountains to the north of us or to the south of us. So we have these two major air systems that come up. One is Arctic air coming down from Canada, and then the other is tropical wet air mass coming from the Caribbean, and they meet here above us. And usually in winter, one's stronger than the other, and summer is, but in the spring, they have equal power and they meet right above us and they have a little fight and make some beautiful and a little bit of severe weather. And we'll talk about that in a little bit and how to be prepared and what to know about that. But just keep in mind, even during the peaceful times, it's going to be rather windy here. That might help a little bit with the heat in the summer, but it's going to make it a little colder than it's going to feel a little colder than what it is during the winter. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide. And this is just some tips for comfort. So during the summer, you want to make sure that you wear lightweight clothing, maybe have a head covering to protect your head and your face. Make sure you wear SPF, and you will probably want to stay indoors in air conditioned spaces during those peak heats or those days where we have record high temperatures. Those usually happen in July and August. This year we've had a lot of rain, so it's been a little bit of a cooler summer than usual. So one thing you can say about the weather here is that it's very dynamic. It changes quite a bit. For winter, this says a light to medium coat. That's again going to be relative based on what you consider light to medium. Maybe what you think is light to medium is something very light. To me, a medium-sized coat is going to be a thick winter coat. A heavy coat would be something you would wear on an expedition in Antarctica. So just keep in mind the temperature is going to get below freezing, and that wind's going to make it feel even colder. Always have, especially if you're going to be relying on public transportation and maybe waiting for a bus, you want to make sure you have an umbrella or a rain jacket handy, and pay attention to those forecasts on those rainy days or the days when we expect some rain. And then one other aspect is that with all this wind coming around, there's pollen blowing up all over. I'm from this region. I've also lived in California. I've lived in Korea. I've lived in Ukraine. I've traveled all around the region in all three parts of that world there. And I will say that the only time I've ever had allergies bother me was here in the Great Plains region. So please, if you don't have allergies, you might find that you develop some seasonal allergies when the time comes. There's plenty of over-the-counter medication, and then of course you all will be having some great health insurance through the UT health insurance plan. So yeah, I just want to bring that to your attention. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about severe weather. I mentioned that we have thunderstorms. Occasionally, we'll have some hail and tornadoes, and that happens in spring and early summer. One of the things that I'll let you know is that when it comes to very severe weather, usually they do not, it doesn't happen in the metropolitan areas because the environment created by all of the it's kind of like a heat island. There's a little bit extra heat in the city because of asphalt and concrete, and that doesn't make the condition as ripe for extreme severe weather. So it might hit, it might be more severe outside of the city a little bit, but when it comes to here in Dallas, it just, I would say, moderately severe. Now, we do have at UTD, we have an alert system called UTD Alert, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But they're also what they call, I want to say it's called outdoor warning systems, OWS. They're basically sirens, and there are a lot of weather apps that help you stay alert. So in our links that we're going to be providing at the end of this session, we'll have links to how to sign up for the UTD weather alert, or excuse me, UTD alert, and then as well as information about different apps that you can download that help you prepare you for the weather, that sort of situation. And of course, the safety webpage for UT Dallas. Next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, one thing that we want you to know is that by we, I say this is a regional thing. It happens in several states. On the first Wednesday each month at noon, the city will test the outdoor warning sirens, and also UT Dallas is tied into that system as well. So those sirens will go off on the first Wednesday at noon for about 3 minutes, and they're just testing to make sure everything's in working order. And so it's just a normal thing, and for obvious reasons to avoid confusion, it's done on clear days. If it's a rainy day, they're not going to test it. They'll wait to the next month. So just keep in mind, if you hear the siren at any other time, you want to check your local weather alerts and shelter instructions if needed. Okay, so that's something to look out for. All right, next slide, please. Here's some resources for you, and again, we'll include the links to these. Again, we have the UTD alerts. So when you arrive here and you change your mobile number, you'll want to make sure that you log into, I believe it's Galaxy, where you're going to update your phone number and make sure that you add your new cell phone number so that you can get those weather alerts and that you're signed up for them, that you're not having them turn off. And then we have a few apps that we might recommend, including AccuWeather, WeatherBug. Maybe you use these apps in your home country. Maybe they're new to you. Also, local television stations will have very good weather apps, especially when it comes to checking radar of weather. So those are just a few there for you to peruse and see which one you like best, which one works for you. All right, next slide, please. Okay, speaking of changing phone numbers. Okay, so um, when it comes to arriving, so you've arrived, you experienced the hot weather, and now you want to get connected, right? You want to make sure that you have connection upon arrival. Maybe you still want to take the time to shop for which phone company and which plan you have, but you just want some connectivity. You want some internet. There are four main options that you could do. One is international calling plan from your current carrier. One of the things you might consider, though, when it comes to that is it might be affordable in the one respect when it comes to texting or making phone calls, but you might not have very much data. It's probably an easy option because you can just check with your current carrier and figure out like what you can do and what's available for you. So be sure to look into it. But you might find another option would work best for you. Now, our big three phone companies, now we have many of them, but the main large three ones, and they're the ones who have the network. So even the smaller companies use these networks. That would be T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. So you might have a T-Mobile in your country or an AT&T store or a Verizon store in your country. So if you do and you want to see about some type of temporary plan or maybe even a more permanent plan while you're in your home country, taking care of that, that is an option for you. Another option would be when you're on your way here. Many international airports near the gates, near the in duty-free stores are going to have maybe options to buy these connectivity cards. Some common ones would be like a mobile, HTO wireless, ultra mobile. There are several out there, so please check into those. And then you might find that you want to order something online and have it shipped to you. So there might be there are many retailers when it comes to having SIM cards or maybe ordering eSIMs that have service in the USA. There are several out there, so research all of them and find the plan that works best for you. And then we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. And here are a few tips. Some of these tips came from our students because of experiences they've had. So this is really some really good tips for you. One, if you plan to bring your own device, you just want to make sure that your phone is unlocked to be able to work with the U.S. carrier. And you can also find out and do research. Most carrier websites are going to allow you to put the phone, I think it's called IEMI number, and to see whether it's compatible with their network. Most newer phones are going to be compatible with all networks in the United States, but just in case, there's that option as well. If you're ordering a physical SIM card, you want to make sure you check the shipping times so that it arrives before you have to leave, right? And then activate it just before you travel, and make sure you bring a little paperclip with you or one of those SIM ejector tools. Not related to necessarily to SIM cards, but you might have a banking system in your home country that uses one-time passwords. And if you have that connected to your phone number, make sure you consult with them on solutions to keep you access if you're not going to keep your home country phone number or phone. I mean, whether it be having your family keep that phone and having access, or whether they may be having ways for you to sign up um, to use the OTP through email or some other means other than using your phone number. So do your homework before you leave, so that way you don't get, you don't lose access to your bank account in your home country. Now, when you arrive here, you're going to need to update your new phone number once it changes over with the Office of Information Technology with their help desk, because you need that. You're going to need Duo Mobile to work so that you can log in to and have access to CometNet, as well as all of the portals that you need to log into through UT Dallas. And so it's a matter of contacting IoT Help Desk and then updating them of your information so that you can stay connected. So those are some tips for you, a little bit of homework for you to do. And so that you can make sure that you are connected as soon as you land. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so when you land, you're connected, you're gonna need a ride, right? So make sure you don't have to, you could take the train, you could take an Uber, but the best and quickest and free option would be our community partners, UTD Big Howdy. They partner with several student organizations, cultural student organizations on any given semester to pick up students who are arriving, new international students from the airport. You just need to go to their website, and we've got the link that we'll give you at the end of the session that allows you to put your information. If you don't know your flight just yet, of course, if you can read that little print there, it says that they usually need to know within 4 days. The sooner you can register for your arrival and for the pickup, the better. So it helps them out with logistics and volunteers to pick you up. But they also understand that sometimes you don't have control of that. So if you have questions, you can their email will be on the webpage and you can reach out to them. But please register for those airport pickups. Okay, thank you, Neil. Next slide, please. Okay, so now you've got your ride to UT Dallas, or maybe to where you're staying for your temporary housing, and now you need to figure out how to get around, right? Well, first we'll start really small and we'll go out, right? So we have what's called the Comet Cruiser. These are the UT Dallas contracted buses. Some of them are black charter buses, and some of them actually look like city buses. And there are two main routes you can see here on the screen. There's green and orange. We don't go by those colors. We call it 8A3 East. That's the green one. 8A3 West is the orange one. And you see like a little light orange extension that happens on Fridays and Sundays. Now, as far as getting around campus, maybe you're obviously probably not familiar with campus. We do, and we'll post the link to it. There is a virtual tour you can take on campus, as well as a campus map. So those are very important. A lot of students don't know that we have a virtual tour, tour, excuse me. So be sure to look into those. You can take your tour of campus right now after you get off this meeting, and kind of check around where you want to go and get to know the lay of the land. All right. So once we go out, when it comes to the Comet Cruiser, these are free, by the way. There's no ID needed. They're free to anyone and everyone. So you can start riding it free as soon, the moment you arrive. Now, when you go outside a little bit farther, there's public transit, and DART is the Dallas Area Rapid Transit System. There's a system of buses and trains, light rail trains that operate in and around the Dallas area, and those do have a cost. However, as a UTD student, you get a free pass. You do have to register for classes. There are a few other steps that are along with that, and we'll have the link to give you instructions on how to get your pass. So as soon as you register for classes and get things situated with your institutional obligations when you arrive here, that's one of the first things that you'll want to do, and that will give you the ability to explore your life in Dallas and start living it in addition to your life at UTD. Now, some of you may want to be driving. My tip is watch out for me. I'm pretty aggressive, but you might want, if you're going to be driving, you'll want to have a driver's license, or maybe you will want to have maybe you won't want to drive, but maybe you want to have a Texas ID so that you don't have to carry your passport with you everywhere you go. So we will have some links to the DPS. The DPS is the Department of Public Safety. Each state regulates driver's license in their states, and this is the department within our state of Texas that issues driver's license. We actually have some experts from DPS, and when I say experts, they're not just DPS experts when it comes to driver's license. They're also experts when it comes to international students and all of the situations where you're coming from, maybe reciprocity laws, when it comes to driver's license from different countries. They know all of your experiences, and they can also give you some tips and pointers when it comes to getting your appointments, that sort of thing, being able to make an appointment when you don't have, let's say, a social security number yet, things like that. We're going to be bringing them onto campus during those couple of weeks during orientation for an optional, it's the days when we have optional tours and presentations. That's going to be listed on that International Student Orientation webpage. So if you are considering at some point having a driver's license or getting a state ID, a state ID would be very good if you, let's say you want to go out on the town with your friends. You don't want to carry that passport with you when you're experiencing nightlife. There's a potential to lose it, and that's not good. But if you have your Texas ID, that would be a much better deal for you. So be sure to go or to come to those to one of those two sessions that we have with TPS, and they can kind of help you get in the right direction, as well as give you some of the forms that you'll need to complete. And then lastly, there is a various levels of parking here at UT Dallas. When it comes to parking, we all pay for our parking passes, and we'll have the website linked to the UTD parking pass as well. All right, next slide. Okay, so housing. We're just going to be really quick about this. On-campus housing, we usually on-campus housing, there's usually more demand than there is supply, and it fills up quickly. Right now, it's currently full. If you already have a housing placement and you want to talk about move-in with them, reach out to housing. It's just housing at utdallas.edu. Availability might, you never know, people may decide to not live on campus and maybe something becomes available. If you're curious, they have a website where they have their current availability. So be sure to look into that if you're interested. Now we'll go to the next slide and talk about off-campus housing. I'm not going to go through this. I'm basically just going to let you know that with off-campus housing, you want to make sure that you view our virtual information session on, I think it was our second virtual information session in June that we had, and we'll have the link to it posted in the comments after this session. It is very robust. It basically talks about things you need to consider beforehand, ways for you to start searching, what that the associated costs when it comes to all of the additional fees, amenities, rent, utilities that you're going to pay, what the contract or the rental agreement or lease looks like, what documents that you'll need to present, and some other options when it comes to housing and just things to consider. So be sure to watch that. It's a very thorough video about looking for apartments in and around the UT Dallas area. And then of course on those website on the web our website, those resources I mentioned, we have a list of apartment complexes that are on the Comet cruiser line, as well as those within a 3-mile radius of campus. I believe that's about what, 5K? Yeah, somewhere around there. So check that out. I'm sure many of you have started to make some of your arrangements, but you're still finalizing your housing. But if you need to go back and review anything related to housing, I would recommend starting off with that video and then all of the resources on our website. Next slide, please. Okay, let's talk a little bit about banking. When it comes to banking, I want to make sure I've got my notes here. And when it comes to banking, banks will typically have a variety of accounts that you can choose from, and each one of them has different requirements and benefits. It's important to note that many banks have accounts that are specialized for students. So be sure to research the accounts on the webpage of a bank that you might be interested in, and to understand what might be best for you. Usually those student accounts are free accounts and there's no minimum balance. That's you might have like a minimum deposit to open the account, but you might not have to have a minimum balance to keep the account. So call, visit, or email the bank to get any further clarification that you might need. Most banks are going to have staff available to discuss your options and help you set up an account, but oftentimes, you'll have to make an appointment if you're coming in person. You should be able to find what you need to bring with you to open an account. Typically, you'll need an ID or your passport. Some banks require some immigration documents like your I-20 or another document. It's just going to depend on the bank. You can always call the bank to check which documents that you'll need to bring with you to the appointment so that you can get that account open. Some popular banks near UT Dallas are going to be Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank of America. These banks have locations and branches that are on or near that Comet cruiser line. Additionally, in collaboration with the Graduate Student Assembly and the Indian Students Association, we will be hosting a vendor resource fair where we'll bring banks, phone carriers, and supermarkets, or these student organizations will be doing that, to be honest with you. And we'll talk, I think we have a page on that gives information on the resource fair. So as far as when and where it's located, it's going to be during those first couple of weeks right before classes. I think it's the week right before class, but my colleagues on it in a minute will tell you the specifics on that. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Now, while each bank has a variety of different accounts, most of them are going to fall into one of two categories: checking accounts and savings accounts. Many Americans are going to have both. The checking account works as your daily spending account for things like shopping, paying the bills, making your rental payment, other expenses. And most checking accounts are not going to accrue interest like a savings account, and they're going to be connected to a debit card. And this is the card that you're going to use to make your payments at the shops and stores, or shop online, maybe withdraw money from the ATM. You can order, if you want to have checks, paper checks, you might be able to order them from the bank if you prefer to write checks for things. I have a feeling many of you won't. This is something that is kind of antiquated, right? They're not as common or as commonly accepted as they used to be. And there's usually, you have to have a special type of account or an additional charge. But there are checking options that actually have checks if you want to go that direction. When it comes to savings accounts, they're good for saving money over the long term. They usually accrue interest It's a very modest amount of interest. And they're also not typically connected to a debit card. So many savings accounts are going to have limitations for how often you can withdraw money, as well as maybe a minimum balance they might keep. So just ask your bank. Any bank that is going to have a checking account is going to have some type of savings account or accounts, different types of saving accounts offered. Another one would be credit cards. They're going to allow you to pay for items throughout the month and then make a payment on the expenses that you accrued. You'll be given a credit limit, which is the most that you're allowed to have charged at any given time. And then you will be charged interest if you keep a balance on the account. In other words, if you don't pay off everything at the end of each period or each month, there will be interest. And interest on credit cards is usually pretty high, like what, 30% or more sometimes. So they're great, especially for emergencies, and they're great for establishing credit. So if you want to consider that route, we'll have more information about equipping you with the knowledge in a couple of slides later. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Yeah, oh, this slide right here. Good. All right. If the banking and credit system in the US is different than your home country, and maybe you've never had a credit card before, and you're thinking about establishing credit in the US, we have a wonderful resource here at UT Dallas. It's called the Common Sense Money Management Center. This UTD service is free, and they provide financial finance education to all currently enrolled students. Um, some of the topics they can assist you with include saving and budgeting, credit management, student loans, identity theft, and what your finances will be like when you're finished with university. So with Common Sense, you'll also have the access to an online financial education course called Cash Course. And that's where you'll find plenty of worksheets and tools for helping you manage your finances. And you can simply, we're going to have the link to it, but you can just Google Common Sense UT Dallas and find their webpage. And they'll also be able to kind of help you navigate the financial system here in the US. All right, let's see here. Next slide, please. Okay, cell phones. All right. So we talked a little bit about connectivity earlier. This is just kind of talking in general about cell phones. You're as far as when you want to have a more long-term plan, when purchasing a cell phone plan or what you might call mobile phone plan, make sure you look into the various plans and contracts that are available. In recent years, most providers in the United States, most carriers are including unlimited talk and text into all or almost all of their plans. And this is typically for US calls and texts only, by the way, but that might vary depending upon the plan. Most providers are going to have different tiered plans that are based on the number of gigabytes or data that you use, as well as how much data you can hotspot or tether. Depending upon the plan, this can range from a few gigabytes to unlimited. Some will allow you to use as much as you can. If you need international calling, that will be something you'll want to consider. Other items to consider are the service or coverage you'll get and the contract length and any restrictions. Current students are going to have the best advice when it comes to recommendations for providers or for carriers. So you might want to contact your cultural student organization or other friends for suggestions. Again, the popular three, the biggest three are going to be Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, but there are many more out there. And you'll typically find a retail location for your chosen provider, or you may be able to set it up online. Next slide, please. Going back to contract links, if you have a contract, can we get to the next slide, please? There we go. I wanted to say, going back to contracts links, if you have a contract, they're typically going to be for a year or maybe more. It really depends on whether you're purchasing a phone through them or not. Sometimes that may be longer, but The three major carriers, as well as all of the others, are going to have prepaid plans. Those contract plans are usually going to be postpaid, which means you're going to be paying your bill at the end of each month, whereas the prepaid obviously would be before. So you might find prepaid plan might be better for you. So just be sure to check into it. And again, we'll have some cell phone companies, carriers that will be joining us for the vendor resource fair, and Sana will have more information about that. Speaking of Sona, um, I think it's your turn, right? Hi, how you
Hello.
doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, so I'm doing great. I'm going to pass the torch
You did a
to.
great job.
Thank you. I'm going to pass the torch to our next champion, Sona, and she will be sure to continue on, and I'll join you all in a little bit later.
All right. Well, while you're taking a break, Carl, I'll go ahead and introduce myself very quick. Hello, everyone. My name is Sana Hashim, and I am one of the other ICP coordinators. And I just want to say thank you for joining us today, and congratulations. You just made it to the very last virtual info session for fall 2025. Okay, so next I will be talking about some few fun stuff, I think, regarding shoppings, etc. So, for example, first of all, I will go ahead and start talking a little bit about the supermarkets options that we're having here in DFW. So on this slide, you will see a list of supermarkets that are along the Comet Cruiser route and that are basically located on 883 route. Basically, you can take a picture to save the list, or what you can do is you can just refer back to this virtual info session after we uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you can use it maybe like in the near future. But one keynote that I would like to share with you is that Walmart and Target stores, they're actually very popular here in Dallas because of the low prices that they offer on their products comparing to the other stores. So they have groceries, clothes, pharmacies, furnitures, and even other household items. The other one is the Sprout stores. Basically, these kind of stores, they do offer organic or natural foods, but keep in mind the prices will be a little bit higher comparing to Walmart and Target. We also have the other options is, for example, Samsung Clubs. Basically, Samsung Club is we consider a very large warehouse membership based store, and this is basically similar to another store that is called Costco, where items can be sold in bulk, and customers, they need to purchase an annual membership to be able to shop specifically from these two stores. If you think about it, this might be a good fit for those of you who will be living with roommates. So basically, you can join Samsung Club together, and for example, you can just buy items in bulk, and maybe you can split the costs between you guys. Also, one more thing that I would like to grab your attention to is we have a place the green dollar signs next to each supermarket. Basically, this is just to notate the average prices for each supermarket or for each store. And this is just a general estimate. But of course, I would personally encourage you, to visit all these stores yourself, so you can learn more about the different prices, and you can compare how they're actually different from each other. One more thing before we move to the next slide, I would like to share some few tips with you. For example, the first one is I encourage you to get the groceries stores app or the membership club if they offer. And this is basically where you gotta use it to use, like to get some discounts, coupons, etc. The second one, as I mentioned, if you will be living with a roommate or roommates more than one person, I feel it's a good idea to talk to your roommates about, like splitting up like the costs, the shopping costs, and even like duties. It's a good and very helpful to talk about it like in advance so you can save time and money. The third thing is, again, as I said, consider shopping in bulk if you feel you have the budget to do like big purchases, stuff like that, and even the space. If your house or home allow you to have like enough space, including like fridge, freezer, stuff like that. And the final one is don't forget about your transportation while doing the shopping. For example, if you gotta be taking, like, for example, let's say the bus, it will be so hard or, complicated a little bit for you to take or like to carry like all these bags or heavy bags with you. So, just take into consideration the transportation that you will be taking. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, well, the good thing about living in the Metroplex is, we are having a lot of options. What I say, a lot of options that would also including international grocery stores that will be available, for each one of you. So, for example, let's say if you're from India or South Asia, we have options like markets like Patel Brothers in Indian Bazaar. If you are from East or Southeast Asia, we have the H Mart store, and this is basically a Korean American owned supermarket chain that has a variety of types of food from Asia, such as Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, etc. And we have another store that we have that is called 99 Ranch Market, and basically that store has some Asian groceries and particularly Taiwanese and Chinese cuisines. And we have the pictures here on the slide, the actual picture of the store, maybe that you can look them up and then see what kind of options that they have. Definitely these are not the only options, but we still have much more. So I would highly encourage you to do the search on your own time, and then just try to find like more options that is related to your culture and the best cuisine that you will be trying to find here in DFW. Next slide, please. Okay, so Carl talked a little bit about maybe the vendor resource fair, but I will go ahead and to give like a friendly reminder that our office, the Intercultural Programs Office, and in collaboration with the some student organizations, ISA and GSA, we will be hosting a vendor fair resource for our all new international students to see and check few of the options that we're having here in DFW. So, for example, instead of you going out and explore or find the right, for example, let's say to find the right bank, if you won't need to have like a phone number, supermarket, etc., we will bring them to you here on campus, so you can easily find what you need exactly, and you can compare what works best for you. So the vendor fair resource will be taking place on Thursday, August the 21st, from 11 to 2 p.m. In the Student Union Galaxy Rooms, where you're gonna be finding like you can visit the ICP webpage, specifically the ISO webpage, so you can find the information and the full, the optional tours and presentation, because we do have a list of, several tours and presentation on the webpage, including the vendor fair resource. So I would encourage you either to take a picture of that, or you can visit the ICP webpage, and then you can save all the dates for all these optional tours and presentations. In addition to that, one more thing is the most important part where you're gonna be, knowing very well about the campus, etc. We will be having the Texas Department where public safety department where they gonna be joining us to give a presentation to help you to understand how to obtain your driver license and all this related information. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so now let's go ahead and switch the topic a little bit and talk about UTD student government. Basically, UTD student government is a body of student senators who represent the collective interest of UTD, students, and basically they support all students and the student organizations in their academic and even community-directed endeavors. So, for example, they have a program that is called Comet discount program where they partner with local businesses to provide UT students, staff, and even the alumni students discounts on a wide variety of services. So they will be all you need to do is just you will need to join the program and to use your Comet card for a discount at the locations that they partnered with. Let's say, for example, if there is like a merchant or like a location that is not listed in there, it's always really good idea from you is to ask and check if they offer, like a student discount, because some of the places will offer discounts if you have your student ID. So I would encourage you to go to their webpage and check out their webpage if you have any to check out the information. If you have any questions, etc., you can reach out directly to them, or you can reach out to us so we can connect you with the student government team. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, also, in addition to that, Dallas, as I said, it has, one of the great places that has so many options that also will imply to food, restaurants, generally speaking. So, for example, it's an easy for you, for example, like to find like food or like restaurants like Mediterranean restaurants, Italian, Mexican, Indian, Mexican, etc. Keep in mind, we have three types of restaurants. The first one is fast food restaurants. For example, the restaurants that provide fast food, like we have very common McDonald's, Burger Kings, etc. All these restaurants basically offer fast service, and of course, they will have lower prices comparing to the other types of restaurants. The second one is we're having the fast casual restaurant, and the final one is the full service restaurants. This is basically where you go and have your meal in a restaurant. Um, Keep in mind that it is very common here in the United States. We need to pay tips based on the service that we're receiving from the restaurant. So basically, you might be expected, for example, to pay 15 to 20% of the bill, and which should be enough, and definitely you can adjust it. That's all gonna be based on the service that you will be receiving in the restaurant. And in addition to that, some restaurants provide curbside pickup. So, for example, it's gonna be like a good way to get your food without having, having yourself to leave the car. So basically, to use the curbside pickup, all you need to do is just to call the restaurant ahead of time and place the order of the food that you would like to purchase, and of course you gotta pay it in advance. And then once you're gonna arrive to the restaurant, you gotta let them know that you are there for the curbside pickup, and they will be taking the food out to your car. So for this kind of service, given a tip for the curbside option, it's a nice thing, but keep in mind it's not really mandatory to do so. And in addition to that, we have a food delivery app. So pretty much same as other countries. I feel like this kind of option is almost like everywhere. So for example, let's say if you don't want to go out to have like a to eat and stuff like that, you can always order like food delivery using apps that we're having like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and Postmates. And all these apps will allow you to order food from variety different types of restaurants and will be delivered to your door. Um, if you gonna do this kind of option, delivering food, it's gonna be like a very customary to tip, the delivery driver up to 10 to 15% of the bill. So that is that. Go ahead and move to the next slide, please. Okay, so basically, in this slide, we're just having like a list of restaurants that will be along the Comet Cruiser route. And all these restaurants will be including, this Sunny Brian's, the Texas Barbecue, Polio's Pizza Cafe. We have Mexican restaurants. Some, if you're looking like for vegetarian options, like we're having the Rodeo Goat. They do offer vegetarian food, including the hamburgers, Italian, like the Olive Garden restaurant, and of course, Asian restaurant, Bont Wok. Again, these are not the only options we're having, but this is just to give you an example. Definitely, you can just do Google search or using Google Maps, where you can, see other options and different cuisines where you can choose from. Next slide, please. Okay, so now let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit and talk about the mailing system and the shipping services here in the United States. So, for example, the United States Postal Service, for short, we call it USPS. This is will consider the very main U.S. mailing service for sending letters and parcels worldwide. Basically, the USPS offers a wide, like a variety of mail services, including like the first class mail, priority mail, and priority even like Mail Express, where you can send letters and packages to several countries, and of course, not only sending but also receiving. You can purchase the USPS postage stamps through the UT Dallas Comet Card office. This is basically the office where you will be receiving your Comet card, which we're going to be talking a little bit about. And the Comet card office is located in the SSA building, 12.324. Maybe you gotta learn where is the office located once you arrive to campus, but of course you can look that up online and by just viewing the UTD campus map. So there is also private carriers such as the UPS and the FedEx, which can also help you, to mail and even like they provide like to help you with your shipping needs. However, all these carriers are typically more expensive than the services that will be offered by the USPS. And the only thing that is for you to know is we have a UPS store here on campus, and that is gonna be in the visitor center building. That's gonna be really next to the bookstore. So again, you will be like more familiar with the area once you arrive to campus, and once we gonna giving you all these tours to know where exactly the bookstore and the UPS and even the visitor center building. Next slide, please. All right. So now speaking of the Comet Card office, again, this is the office where you're gonna be getting your Comet Card from. And again, it is located in the SSA building. So basically, the other thing that you will be finding like an interesting thing that they offer to all students is they do sell discount tickets for so many venues, events, places, etc. So, for example, we have the list that we're having on here on the slide. Such as like the movie theaters for the Fort Worth Zoo, the Fort Worth Zoo, and the Dallas Arboretum, etc. So all these places they do offer discount tickets. So let's say if you have like an event or a place that you would like to go to, but it's not listed on this slide, I would definitely highly encourage you to check first with the Comet Cards office and see if they offer a discount before you purchase your actual ticket. Next slide, please. Okay, so we are getting to the a little bit, fun part of this presentation. Again, Dallas is the great place by having so many great options, indoor, outdoor activities for all ages, for you as a student, for families, etc. And we're going to be starting talking about museums. As I said, Dallas is a great place that has a variety of cultural, museums, which many of them offer like a free or a very low cost admission for our students. So basically, this is going to be like a really good opportunity for you to learn about the different cultures. We know, especially like once you arrive, or like if you arrive a little bit early before classes to campus or to Texas. As you can see here, we have on the slides, we have a list of the museums where you can, make your plan and maybe visit one day. So, for example, we have the Dallas Museum of Art, this which would consider one of the largest and the most comprehensive museums in the United States. They have a collection that spans like 5,000 years of history and culture. And for example, we have the second option is the Nasher Sculpture Center. They do have a collection of modern and contemporary sculpture. And the Meadows Museum, this basically, they have a collection of Spanish art from the 10th to the 19th century. And in addition, Campbell Art Museum, they do have a collection of European paintings, sculptures, and even drawings from the 13th to the 19th century. And we have the Amon Carter Museum of American Art. Basically, they have a collection of American art from the 18th century to the present. So it's a good place for you to go and learn maybe about the American culture. And the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. Basically, that museum they explore the natural world of science. And the final one is the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History, and they explore the history of Texas and the Southwest. So maybe it's a good place for you to visit and to learn about the Texas culture and history. So again, these are not the only places. We also have much more. So I would encourage you to do Google search and to find more places. Next slide, please. Okay, so in addition to the museums, here in this on this slide, you will be seeing a list of some of the performing arts institutions that we offer. Basically, that Dallas offer a wide variety of performances throughout the year. Including the classical music, opera, ballet, theater, Broadway musicals, etc. So you have all these institutions are listed on the webpage. Again, feel free to take a picture, or you can just refer back to the this virtual info session after it's been uploaded to our YouTube channel. But I would encourage you to, mark your, calendar to attend any of these places. It's gonna be very fun, and they look fancy as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so in addition to the musical institutions, museums, we also have concerts venues. Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex is a home of a variety of renowned concert venues. Some of these concert venues are listed here on the slide, and they're basically attracting a multitude of famous artists, and make it a hub for exceptional performances. So again, take a picture, or you can just look them up, or you can refer back to these PowerPoint, and then from there, where you can mark your plan for the hopefully near future. Next slide, please. Okay, the most fun part, cultural trips. Our office, the Office of Intercultural Programs, basically offers at least one cultural trip per semester for students to explore more about the US and even the global culture. So these trips would include the Dallas Opera, museums, decorates to celebrate the Radio Day, maybe visiting cultural centers, and even sporting events. So, for example, for this semester, for the summer semester, we went to the AT&T Stadium here in Dallas, for our students to learn about the American football. And it's a really good place that all our students, they really enjoyed, and they took up plenty of pictures. And in addition to that, they learned about the American, the football culture of the American football culture. This is how I can say it. All right, so basically the pictures that you're having on the slide here in front of you, they're actually all taken from actual pictures from actual trips, actually. I think that they were taken from our trip last fall 2023 when we went to the Dallas Opera. Our students that time, they had a great experience by watching the Tasca. But, generally speaking, we have a lot of students signing up for the cultural trips every semester. So make sure that you will be one of the selected winners for our next cultural trip for fall 2025 semester. And guess what? All these trips gonna be free of charge. Our office will be paying will be paying for your transportation and even your admissions or tickets, generally speaking. Next slide, please. Okay, so next we will be talking about social life. So basically, again, here in the on the slides, you will be having like some lawful social life options that you can experience near the UTD and even in Dallas, generally speaking. So if you're like over 21, you can find so many places of where you can spend your nighttime, or even like to have fun out here in Dallas. So again, take a picture, you can refer back, but some of the options we're having is the North Side Draft House. So this is basically, I think it's really close to UTD campus. And this is basically a very popular restaurant and a bar chain that offers a wide variety of food and drinks, and as well as a full, theater. It's a really great place to go, for a casual night, just to go out with friends, family, etc. We have the other option, the Plano downtown. This is basically in a Plano area. They have so many shops, restaurants, and even bars. It's also, consider like a home to the Plano Arts and the Entertainment District, which features a variety of theaters, galleries, and museums, and some other options such as the Dallas Downtown, Bishop Arts, Deep Ellum, Design District, Oaklawn, and this is basically the Dallas, the Dallas district. So basically, you can search for all these places, and you can also find like more options where you can have and spend and enjoy your social life in DFW, generally speaking. Next slide, please. Okay, so last but not least, we're not only having social life off campus, but also we do have social life here on campus as well. For example, the Office of Intercultural Programs, we do offer so many events and programs throughout the year where you can be involved and even make friends, connections, etc. For example, we have the iFriend program. This is one of the programs, that we pair international and domestic students from different countries and cultures to learn about different cultures and to develop communication skills, styles, etc. And also we have the iWeek. This is gonna be a full week of fun events every spring semester. We offer it on campus, and also we have Cultural Heritage Month events. We offer them every month. We celebrate specific culture and cultural trips, as I talked about. And also the good thing is in our office we have a student lounge. So if you ask about the Bruce August student lounge of the ICP, or you can find it. I don't think it's online yet, but maybe hopefully we can update it and put it like on the campus map. But it's gonna be in our office, so this is a good opportunity, just to stop by and to mingle around with some other either international students or domestic students, etc. So in addition to making friends, etc., as I said, you will be having the opportunity to connect with your cultural student organizations, or even more student organizations. We have so many student organizations here on campus. So if you are, especially if you're interested in joining cultural student organizations, academic organizations, some organizations that offer like sports, hobbies, etc., that's going to be a good opportunity, to check the student organization center's match cards on their webpage, so you can find the best options, or the options that would fit best for you. All right, and speaking of the student organizations, we are so lucky today again by having a new student organization joining us for this session. They will be here today to talk a little bit about their organization and the project that they are working on. So I will go ahead and introduce Smith and Adnan, who will be talking a little bit about their organization, and then I'll be taking a break. I'll be back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Sona. Hello, everyone. Thank you for so much for joining us today for this short but exciting information session about the International Council here at UTD. I have with myself in attendance Smith. He is a Master's in Finance, Spring Intake 2024 at JSOM. He is the president of the International Council, and I'm the secretary. Now, whether you're a new student returning or just curious about what we do, we're happy to have you with us in the first place. Just to repeat, my name is Adnan, and I'm one of the members of the International Council, also known as IC. And today I will walk you through this session about who we are, why we exist, and how you can get involved. Now, the International Council is a student-led organization that aims to build bridges between the international and domestic students at UTD through the International Peer Connect program. We focus on cultural exchange, community building, mentorship to make sure everyone, no matter where you're from, you feel welcome and you feel supported. Our organization was formed to help create spaces where students like yourself, where international students and also the domestic students can meet, learn, and grow together. Now, with that being said, I'll move on to the next slide, please. Now let's talk about our International Peer Connect program, which is really the heart of IC. The idea is simple. We match incoming international students with more experienced UTD students acting as mentors. Now, mentors might seem a little intimidating at first, but really they're just students who've been here long enough to know where to find the Artemis Hall. Now, that is an UTD inside joke, which you will eventually figure out once you're here. And so basically, mentors are the ones who will help you with adjusting to life at UTD, navigating the campus resources, both offline and online, understanding the overall US university life and culture, connecting to other university organizations and resources in general. And most importantly, you will always have someone to at least talk to, even though you might not know anyone initially and you're still making friends, finding things out. It is super casual, no pressure. Mentors and mentees meet a few times a week, possibly attend a couple of events together, and overall build a connection that can last beyond the semesters. And moving on to the next slide. So if you're interested either as a mentee or a mentor, you can sign up through our form, which we will be sharing in the chat as mentioned by Carl earlier. We currently have 30 slots available for now, and we out of the 30 slots, we have about 7 slots that are empty. It is currently a pilot program on its initial stage. So, however, we do expect it to grow further in coming semesters. The UTD campus population is quite large, and we are trying our best to include as many as we can. Due to limited mentors and time, we are giving priority to students from country possibly that don't already have active cultural organizations on campus, because the ones that they do, they usually have their own support systems. That way we can kind of reach who don't always get a chance to feel seen and supported. And yeah, it's that's the whole idea, that's the whole initiative. And moving on to the next slide. You might be wondering, isn't there already support for international students? Well, yes, there are. There are great programs like the ICP, of which you're attending the event. We do have events like Big Howdy. There's other organizations, ISO, and many more. But what the International Peer Connect program is trying to do is we're trying to add something extra. We want to focus on more student-oriented peer-to-peer mentorship. We help students find community and feel represented. We are here to provide long-term support systems beyond the day-to-day events and activities on campus that you're gonna experience once you're here. So you can think of us as a friendly bridge that supports and complements all the great resources available on campus. Moving on to the last slide. That is all from us today. Due to the time constraint, we had to keep it short and brief. I would like to thank Mr. Carl, Mr. Rodolfo, Sona, ICP, SOC, and all the respective staff and members for this opportunity. Their never-ending patience, on their never-ending patience and support on behalf of the International Council at UTD. And also, lastly, thank you everyone for being here. We're excited to have you. Please feel free to follow us on all our socials to stay updated on our events and activities. Lastly, I will sign off by saying go Comets. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Adnan. Thank you so much for the information you shared, and thank you for your time and and for also joining us today. We really appreciate that. Okay, so yep, this is what I was looking for. All right, so before we move on to the next, to the Q&A section, I would like to give, another reminder. Again, Carl talked a little bit about, like the Big Howdy, airport pickup, etc. And also we have a special virtual info session that is already recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. If you would like to refer back to see who are the Big Howdy, what they do, and maybe to get more information about the airport pickup, basically just go ahead and refer back to our YouTube channel. But again, if you are interested to being, picked up from the airport, you must register and submit your application. Again, this is a free service that is offered by the Big Howdy team, our community partner, and in collaboration with the some cultural organizations, who will be helping by picking up students from the airport. So again, maybe you can visit their webpage so you can learn more. Next slide, please. And another thing that I would like to remind you about is joining the Big Howdy Welcome Party. And this will be on Saturday, August the 23rd. It's going to be at 7 p.m. And keep in mind, there will be a walk-up registration at the party. So basically, I really do highly recommend and encourage you to attend the Pig Howdy welcome party, since it's gonna be like maybe like your first day, first week, etc. On campus or in Texas. So I encourage you to attend this event where you can meet and chat with Americans, current UTD students, and even to learn about the Texas, generally speaking. And also, in addition to that, you gotta be having fun. There will be a lot of activities, dancing activities, giveaways, etc. And of course, all spouses and families will be welcome to attend the event for you, so you can be connected with other families as well. And again, for further information, please visit utdbcounty.com. And I think that will conclude our last virtual info session for fall 2025. And I guess now we're ready to start taking questions. Right, Carl?
Right. Hello.
All right.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Speaking of questions, I just opened the Q&A, and I also just posted those links that we presented during the presentation. Sona, myself, as well as International Council, those links are all here. So copy and paste all of them and refer to them. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching the recording in the future, they will be posted. They are posted in the description. So are we ready for some questions?
Not yet. We're just waiting. And also, please keep in mind, maybe, you don't have a question at this moment. No question will come out, but at any time, if you have any questions, maybe after reviewing again all these, virtual info sessions, etc., feel free to reach out to the ICP office at icprograms@utdallas.edu. We will be happy to answer your questions and to connect you with other departments.
That's correct. And speaking of answering questions, I want to make sure to give a shout out. In addition to Sona and I having our faces on the screen and answering you verbally, we do have some folks who are going to be responding as well. So Adnan and Smithavarun with IC are here as well, still with us. In addition to that, Rodolfo, our assistant director, as well as our director Leticia, is on the call. And as far as responding to in comments on via text, we have Kushali, our third program coordinator, is here with us. And yeah, okay, we're ready. Ask away. Hey, I have a question.
Asking me or asking the audience?
I'm asking you.
I know what you're gonna ask me.
Do you know how to find Artemis Hall?
Oh yeah. Well, I thought you gotta ask me something else. I thought you gotta.
No, I mean I can.
No, I thought you gotta ask me. What do you think about Dallas? What do you think about it?
Oh yeah, sure.
Because you know the answer.
That's a good question.
You know my answer.
Now that you know how to find Artemis Hall, you probably think a lot more about Dallas, right?
Yeah, correct. Well, definitely, as any other student or generally speaking people, I from the first week, I really got confused where to go, but afterwards I learned how to go to Artemis Hall and even other buildings.
Definitely. And speaking of which, just to kind of plug it again, that finding your way around campus can be a little bit confusing in the beginning, but you'll get the hang of it pretty quickly. There is that virtual tour that you can take before you even leave, as well as the campus map that Sona had mentioned. Looks like we've got some questions coming in now. Are you ready?
All right, let's see.
All right. Okay, what should I carry to be allowed to enter campus before the first day to attend the library tour, get my TB test, F1 workshop? Also, when do we get the Comet card to access DART? Is it the first day, etc.? There's quite a few questions in that question. So I'm going to ask Rodolfo, particularly when it comes to Letitia, when it comes to those institutional obligations. I don't think there's any. You'll just need to have to check into international student orientation. You'll need to have you don't necessarily have to have your Comet card, but you can get it as soon as you arrive if the Comet card, if and when if you're here when the Comet card office is open during business hours. But you can use your Comet card to check into International Student Orientation if you already have it. If not, you will need to have your physical passport with you to check into ISO. As far as
Yes.
the TB test,
Mhm.
yeah, go ahead.
That's correct, Carl. Is yeah, welcome to the University of Texas Dallas campus. You don't require to bring any specific documentation. However, you need to meet to satisfy to complete institutional requirements like the TB test, attending the international student orientation. And if you are planning to attend the customized tours and presentations offered by intercultural programs in collaboration with campus stakeholders, just show up. There is no registration required for that. For the Comet card specifically, yes, students are welcome to go to the Comet card office, and certainly they can obtain the card after registration of
Okay.
classes. Traditionally, I think it should be after 24 hours or 48 hours after registration of classes. Bring the evidence of your registration of classes. You can print out your schedule, for instance, in case it's needed and requested in at the Comet Card office. Microphone back to you, Carl.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rodolfo. We'll move on to the next question. I'll let you answer this one, Sona, if you want. What modes of transportation
Sure.
can we use to go around Dallas for someone with no car?
Yeah, so basically it's already been answered, and I already put the link, and also Kushali answered that. Thank you for doing so, Kushali. So basically you have the Comet Cruiser, and also you have so many other options like using like the Uber, Lyft, etc. So if you just open the link that I sent to you, we'll be learning more about the transportation options that we have here in DFW, or
Very good.
close to campus.
And even I'm just going to say going forward, even if answers are given in this the word is escaping me right now, in this platform, as far as like through text, I'm still going to announce the questions and answer them verbally or audibly, so those who are watching on YouTube can have, maybe they have similar questions, they can get those answered. Yeah, one of the things that we didn't mention during our presentation was Uber or Lyft. That's a good option, especially if you want to have a night out or something and you're coming home a little bit later and you don't have access to public transportation later on at night. There is one other option that I think, but I don't know how much it's used. You still have to have a driver's license, but maybe if you have that and you don't have a car, there is the option of having some type of car that you will like rent through like a zip car. It's called ride sharing, I think, something like that. I don't know too much about that. And then a final option, this is a really good option, I think. Make a local friend who has a car.
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
I mean, don't don't be pestering them too much when it comes for rides, but I'm sure some local friends would be more than happy, and maybe you can join them on their excursions, right?
Yeah. Well, pretty sure, I have the expectation most of the students, they will be making friends, especially,
Mhm.
once they gonna be attending the in-person orientation, because they will be having, connection with student employees, other like international students, but they're already been on campus for several semesters. So maybe from there they can be, like establishing all these friendships. And speaking of
And
the orientation, oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead, Leticia.
no, please finish, Sonia. Sorry.
No, no, yeah, sorry, it's all done. I was gonna, speaking of the orientation, I'm gonna jump to the next question. But if you would like to add anything before jumping to
Yeah,
the third question.
just a clarification. When somebody asks about what should I carry when I go to campus, as Rodolfo already mentioned, you don't have to bring anything for the tours, for example. However, both for the TB test and the TB test, and yeah, especially the TB test, please bring your passport because they will be requiring your passport, as much as the Comet card. You need a legal proof of identification. So just for those two activities, please bring your passport.
Very good. And also for international student orientation, when you check in with us, we'll
You're right.
need to see your identification as well. So please be sure to bring that. And
Yeah,
everyone, that's Letitia, our director. Hello, Letitia.
Hello.
All right, so and speaking of the orientation, there's a question about like a student asked if do I have to attend international orientation before registering for classes? The answer is yes. It is required the in-person orientation for all F1, J1, and even exchange students to attend the in-person orientation. What would happen if you did not attend the orientation? There will be hold on your account that will prevent you from registering for classes. So,
Sana, this is Crystal.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I
No,
just
no,
wanted
sorry.
to add.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add that the students asking, are they required to attend orientation before registering? That may not be the case. They can still register for classes if they're a graduate student. So if you're a graduate student, you can still register for classes right now, but it will need to be done through your academic advisor. Your academic advisor will need to register you for classes. However, when you arrive here in the US, it is mandatory to attend the orientation before classes start. If you do not, then you will have a hold placed on your account. But you can register for classes if you are a graduate student. Your academic advisor will need to register you for classes. If you're an undergraduate student, you will need to attend the if you haven't done the in-person one, you will need to attend the virtual orientation for freshmen if you're an undergraduate student, and then you can register for your classes at the end of that. But graduate students, yes, you can register for classes right now with the help of your academic advisor.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Kushali, for the clarification.
Very good. And that's Kishali's response is it kind of brings up the nuances of life at a U.S. institution, and particularly UT Dallas compared to many institutions abroad. You will find that there are various departments that you need to talk to. We're very decentralized, and we talk about that during International Student Orientation. So if you have a question that's academic related, when it comes to registration for classes, the first stop, the best stop for you when it comes to how does this happen, is to reach out to your academic advisor through your particular school or department. And of course, to be able to know who to contact, that's kind of the first step for many incoming students. And that's part of the reason why we're here, is we're help point you in the right direction, and to the authority, for lack of a better word, who is going to be the expert on the topic that you're inquiring about. Let's see. Do you see any other questions?
Well, I don't see any other questions. I feel like we did a really great job by covering everything. And very detailed. We were like very detailed.
We were very thorough.
There we go.
We respond to international student surveys when it comes to recommendations, and we adjusted this in particular. This presentation was one of the main ones that we adjusted and added a few things based on some feedback that we got, and we're kind of excited about that. So yeah. Do you have a question for me? Do I like Dallas? I don't know. Well, thank you for asking, Sana.
There you go. Well, I know the answer. The answer is yes.
It's absolutely
even if the
yes.
answer is no, it's still yes.
That's correct. No, I'm fine. I actually like it here quite a bit. And one of the things that I love about Dallas is that it because it's kind of, there's some pros and cons to everything. Like it is very spread out, like a typical American city, but it's a very big city, but at the same time, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel too big. And I think that's due to that. And then also I really like UT Dallas. It's a very unique institution. Very different than a lot of institutions around the U.S. and the fact that it's it's much younger, and it's very tech oriented, and I kind of like the vibe here.
And in addition to that, if we think about like all these international students, either like UTD or DFW, generally speaking, students will be so easily to overcome the culture shock and preventing homesickness, etc. Because you gotta see like so many different cultural communities here, either like on campus organizations or communities in Dallas. All right, let's go
Yeah,
back, I guess,
and
to
we bring a
questions.
lot of those for the Cultural Heritage Months. Kushali, the one who responded earlier,
Mm-hmm.
is our general coordinator for Cultural Heritage Months, and we have a lot of events. And if there's not a particular student organization on campus to partner with, there's definitely one in the community that we can reach out to, and who Kushali has established some relations with. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is very it's a very pluralistic city. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
May I share some remarks in alignment with that spirit in terms of
Hmm.
how wonderful is Dallas as a metropolitan area, in particular regarding the UT Dallas campus. The the um, the physical growth of the UT Dallas campus is a constant. You will be welcome to UT Dallas, but immediately you will see some construction in place for new spaces designed precisely for students to enhance their routine and their certainly intellectual stimulation to be here on campus at UT Dallas. But I would like to highlight one of those physical pieces of this growth of the UT Dallas campus within the academic year 2025-2026, precisely for the new cohort of international students coming in fall 2025. They will see that the subway, the metro, or what is called here in the Dallas Metroplex, the DART metro, which is basically the Dallas rapid transportation,
Hmm.
they will open a new metro station on campus, and
Hmm.
that will be in the north side of the campus, and that metro will connect directly to the Dallas Fort Worth Airport, in addition to many other connections across the metroplex, including the accessibility for Dallas downtown and other key destinations within the metroplex. So all of us as a community, we're looking forward to that, and you will be the new students. You will be witnessing all this physical growth, and will be enjoying the access for public transportation in a more feasible, accessible, efficient way. So there is even a web page in that regard. So I just want to mention that in the
Mm.
context of how wonderful is Dallas as a metroplex, and certainly in alignment, UT Dallas is growing as well, in alignment with the city.
I can that slipped my mind, Rodolfo, about the Silver Line expansion.
Mhm.
That's a game changer. I might be able to commute by rail most days, which is really cool.
Yes, because one of the generalizations about Dallas Metroplex is that the only way to be around is only driving a car. But
Mm.
actually, over time, we have seen an amazing improvement of transportation efficiency,
Hmm.
accessibility across the Metroplex, certainly from UT Dallas to other destinations within Metroplex. So, all to say that this is the right time to come to UT Dallas to not only to experience a first class academic experience, but also to see the ambience of this metroplex in the way it's growing and expanding in terms of development, and certainly with the stimulation of the intellectual um, value that international students bring to UT Dallas and to the metroplex in general.
Thank you, Rodolfo. Let's see. We have a few more questions come through. We had some specific questions, and I won't go into all of the details, but the question was related to the visa process and making sure that they are able to arrive in time based on visa appointments with the embassy, etc. And Kushali made sure to answer that question in chat. If you have specific visa questions, ISSO, International Students Scholars Office, would be the best to assist you with these questions related to your visas. And they'll be able to help address you with that. And what we do have their links that we've posted in the Q&A discussion question as well. What else do we have here? Let's see here. Okay. Um, And I'm kind of curating the questions because some of them are along the same theme that we
Yeah, sorry, I'm
addressed.
just answering like a question regarding the cultural trip, and maybe this is the best for you, Carl, to answer. But
Sure.
yes, you have to register for the ICP cultural trip. The good way to learn about it is we gotta start sending you guys out like a newsletter, every week, and this is for you to stay tuned. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at UTD and this is where we gotta be, putting like notifications, announcements when we have the application for the cultural trip is open, as well as to check our webpage where you're going to be seeing like all the events, and then definitely general speaking. Any questions, you don't know the date, etc., so you don't need to miss that out, reach out to the ICP email, and then we can provide you with a specific more info.
Cool. Yes. And to give you a little bit more detail on that, with the cultural trips, we have one each semester, including summer, so at least 3 per year. The number of spaces that are available are limited to how many seats are on the bus. So we max out at 50, right around 50 per trip. There's a couple of factors that go into this. One would obviously be how quickly you apply. So if you submit your application, those who submitted their application sooner are going to be more, they'll better their chances for selection. We also want to make sure that we have a geographical representation. So we want as many students from the various countries who have applied to take part. In addition to that, we want to give students who have not gone on a cultural trip in the past an opportunity to go before inviting someone who's already previously gone on a trip. So those are some factors that we include. But we have them 3 times a year. So if you end up being on a wait list or you're not selected for any particular trip, just keep in mind you're welcome to continue applying, and there will be plenty of opportunities in the future.
Great, thank you. There is a question, if your classes are starting on August the 25th, how many days prior must I arrive to the US to complete all the required procedures? So basically that is gonna be depends on, what kind of paperwork that you still need to do, procedures, etc. But I always, encourage you to, for example, reach out to the ISSL to check if you still having like any missing documents related to the visas, etc., and your academic advisor, what kind of papers, documents that you need to do or to provide. But I would say, and as Rodolfo said, maybe like 3 days prior to the beginning of classes, but sometimes due to visa airlines visa issues, etc., maybe it's got to be taken like a little bit less than 30 months. So it just got to be depends. I would again I would encourage you to adjust the time yourself by discussing with the different departments and check if you're all set.
I'll be, we'll share a couple notes right here. Thank you, Sona. But in principle, if the first day of class is August the 25th, students are welcome to start arriving 30 days, 30 days before the first day of classes. Okay. And now, in general, we highly recommend to arrive at least 1 week before the first day of classes. Why we're saying that is because international students with that specific status, you need to meet institutional guidelines and requirements, including TB tests, which needs to happen in the US, and we highly recommend to take the TB test on campus. And number 2, you need to attend in person the International Student Orientation, among other UT Dallas institutional requirements for new international students. So bottom line, at least 1 week before the first day of classes, but certainly you're welcome to arrive 30 days before the first day of classes.
Yeah, so you can enjoy Dallas before classes start.
Yes.
That's right.
There is another great question that in very few occasions I have seen or I have observed the somebody presenting the question, that this is related to the insurance of tuition. Yes. So the tuition insurance is offered by the office, the bursar's office, which is the entity on campus related to any financial aspects of students. So paying tuition, getting some reimbursement, specific services, specific fees. So that is the bursar's office, and there is a specific web page that I just published right here in the Q&A column, in that specific web page from the bursar's office, they explain that for fall 25. Students are welcome to purchase a tuition insurance, and basically the intention is to protect students if something happens. Because if you have a family situation, personal emergency, and you need to interrupt your fall classes in the middle of the semester with this tuition insurance, that you will get a reimbursement of the corresponding tuition. The cost of this tuition insurance for fall 2025 is $120 per $10,000 of coverage. All this information again is in the Bursar's office webpage, but I just published the specific webpage for tuition insurance for the students right here. Thank you for that question.
We also have another place where that information is published, and it would be one of our virtual information sessions. We partnered with the Bursar office to have a very informative information session about all things related to tuition and fees. And then Patrick with the Bursar office did, among many other topics, did review that topic. So you're welcome to go back to our International Student Orientation webpage, and then there'll be a list that has the links to the YouTubes, and we have the recording there for you to review if you'd like to check that resource out as well.
And in that respect, I will certainly would like to remind everybody that we need to be respectful of the institutional deadlines regarding registration of classes and the corresponding tuition payment for those classes. However, if for some reason international students may have a challenge or a situation that requires additional time to pay tuition and fees at UT Dallas, please contact the Bursar's office. That team is really very intercultural in the sense that they understand international student situations to allow some flexibility for the payment of tuition and fees based on individual circumstances. In other words, please don't be shy. If you need support guidance regarding paying tuition and fees, contact the Bursar's office and present your case. If for some reason you need to consult informally with intercultural programs, any of us will be happy to have the conversation with you and then providing you the guidance or the introduction with the corresponding team in the Bursar's office. But yeah, they are great friends and they have high degrees of interculturalism to understand the individual situations of international students regarding finance, payment of tuition and fees. Thank you.
Rodolfo, you're reminding me of a phrase or a saying that we have, which is the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So it's very important. It basically means no one's going to know about an issue or a problem you might have if you're quiet about it and you don't reach out for help. So yeah, so like Rodolfo said, if you have questions about your payment based on your particular situation or circumstance as an international student, make sure to contact the bursar's office, or if it's another topic, make sure to contact the office that would be in charge of that particular circumstance. So very good. I had to see a question about housing. A student is having some challenges securing off-campus housing and is wanting some advice about that. And we responded in the chat, Kushali did, to make sure to reach out to your cultural student organization. But also you might want to go back and view our virtual information session. I know I keep saying that, but our virtual information sessions have a lot of information on them. And one of the things that I will mention is that is kind of our guidance that we think that you should secure your housing once you're here. And because we don't want you to find a place that like looks amazing and beautiful in the photos or videos that someone's sending to you, and then you get there and you find out that's not your actual unit, or apartment. And that's why we recommend those temporary housing options for you, as well as working with other students when it comes to recommendations. We're not going to give you any specific recommendations as far as apartment complexes or communities, aside from that being a conflict of interest. It's also, we just know that our cultural student orientations, our cultural student organizations, and current students are going to know what's best for you because they know what's best for them, and you're in the same situation, the circumstance, part of the same cohort as they are. And so some resources for you would be the cultural student organization from your culture. And again, as Kushali mentioned, you can reach out to us if you need assistance in contacting with them. I'm not sure who it is, but somebody's got a lot of notifications going on their computer, and it's they might want to mute those. It keeps going off. In addition to that, the UTD Mobile App is a good resource. There are some feeds on there, and one of those is a housing feed where students offer housing. Maybe they need a roommate, that sort of situation, because one aspect was the cost. Yes, housing is a little bit more expensive in the United States than many other places around the world, and Dallas is it's not quite New York or California, but it's a little bit pricier than some places. So maybe an option for you would be to live in a 2-bedroom apartment and have a roommate, so that way your utilities can be split into, maybe even your food costs can be split into, and your rent as well. So those are some options for you, some resources for you. Look into the temporary housing options that we have on our website, and as well as listed in the links, and go from there. But definitely download the UTD mobile app and reach out to your cultural student organization. I keep wanting to say orientation. Do you see any other questions, Sona?
No, not really.
Okay, well, like you said, we were very thorough.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw one new post. Let's see here.
Did you?
Oh, maybe not. No, nope. I
Yeah,
think that's basically it. We'll go ahead and move to the closing section of this. Yeah, we're getting close to 2 hours, so it's time to get ready. If we need to end this before they arrive, right? All right. Well, so any final advice that you have for our students as they're preparing for their new lives in Dallas?
Yeah, well, my advice for them is, I know this is maybe like a little bit overwhelmed, maybe like a little bit stressful, etc. But everyone, just take a deep breath, enjoy the last couple weeks, days, whatever, with your families overseas, and then just be ready to have a new life, a new friends, etc. And any questions, etc., we will be with you. Reach out to our email, we can direct you. Trust me, you will be making friends since your first day attending the campus for whatever purpose. And yeah, that's all, and we're so excited to welcome you all on campus, and we cannot wait to see you all in person. And you don't have to tell me because I know you're so excited and you cannot wait to see us in person as well.
I couldn't say it better myself. Yeah. Definitely. I know that we know that you're full of anticipation, right? And you're thinking like, what do I need to do? Yes, continue doing that, but take a few moments out of your day to, like you said, Sana, take a deep breath. If you live, I'm just saying this because I love mountains. If you live in a mountainous region and you like hiking, you need to go and enjoy those mountains. Enjoy your family and friends because you'll be away from them for some time. So just take some moments each day to soak up your life as it currently is, in your home country, because you're going to have a new identity for yourself as an international student in the U.S. and here in Texas at UT Dallas, and we're really excited to have you here. So we want to say thank you very much. If you have any questions, again, you're also welcome to reach out to us by email, and we will either answer your question or refer you to the source who can answer your question. And yeah. we look forward to seeing you soon. We hope you will enjoy your journeys here, and we are so excited. So we'll see you next month. Thank you all so
right,
much,
well,
and
thank you,
yeah.
Carl, and have a good one, y'all. Bye.
And thank you, everybody, for those of you who are sorry. Those of you who everyone that I mentioned earlier who is a part of this production today. Thank you so much. It's been great, and yeah, have a good evening, good morning, good night. Bye bye.